It's wonderful to be at the University of Chicago, where there's still some people who recognize me. One. But for those of you who don't, for those of you for whom your education at the University of Chicago seems to have failed you, let me introduce myself. That's me. No, not platypus. That's Plato Philosophus. That's what the Romans called me, Plato the philosopher. And yes, I was a philosopher, and I did okay. I wrote some books, sold a few pamphlets, I started a school. I made a living. But to be modest about it, everything I did I owe to my teacher, a fantastic man, a brilliant man, a genius, really. The Maharas, Morenu, Horav, Socrates, Rabbi Socrates. Forgive me. He was a fabulous teacher, but a little peculiar in his teaching. You'd ask him a question, and what did you get but another question? And it hardly mattered what kind of a question. You'd say, so tell me, Rabbi, how do you feel? He'd say, how should I feel? So, how should you feel? How should I know? He says, well, what does it mean to feel something? I don't know. You pick it up, you patchka around a bit with your fingers, and you feel it. So how should I feel? With your fingers? That's the way it always was with Rabbi Socrates. Every time you asked a question, you got a question, or else a riddle. Like this one time he was put on trial for his life. Honest, I'm not kidding. And the big boys in Athens, they were a little jealous of him. They put him on trial for his life, and they asked him a bunch of questions. Say, Rabbi Socrates, is it true you're corrupting the youth? He'd say, do I corrupt the youth? They said, well, don't you teach them that there is no God? He says, do I teach them anything? Isn't the only thing I do ask them questions? Went on like this a while. Didn't turn out so good for Rabbi Socrates. You can read about it yourself. I wrote the whole thing up. It's actually my bestseller. I called it the Apology of Socrates, but in fact he didn't apologize because he never said anything. He just asked questions. It's a very exciting story. I don't want to give away the ending. You can still read about it yourself. I thought it would make a great movie. And I was thinking for Socrates, maybe Mel Gibson. But now I got a different opinion. Then I thought maybe Tom Cruise. But no, I guess I'm going to have to play him myself. So I think you're wondering probably, Mr. Plato, Mr. Big Philosopher Guy, have you forgotten what the symposium is all about? What does this have to do with latke-hamentaschen? And I'll tell you, but what I was trying to do here is simply explain how very subtle the teachings of Rabbi Socrates were, and how you gotta go beneath the surface to figure out what he was really talking about. Because it turns out that he actually taught latke-hamentaschen. You wouldn't know it, so I'll have to explain it to you. There were these two bochers. They came to him. One's named Cratylus, the other is named Hermogenes. I wrote this one up too. It's called Cratylus. It's not so popular because I think it's a little too long. I'm working on it still. And it's really about latkes and hamentaschen. I'll show you how. This is how we wrote in Greek, Cratylus. But us Jewish boys, I don't know if you know this, but all us philosophers, we were really Jewish. My rabbi, me, maybe you've heard of Aristotle, also Jewish. Well, we didn't, amongst ourselves, we didn't speak Greek. We spoke jargon. A little bit of Greek, a little bit of Hebrew, a lot of our kind of Aramaic, already a mess. But that's in the Greek, and in our Aramaic, we didn't need that os. The Greeks just put it there to make it sound Greek. This is him, Kratel. And in fact, the Greeks got it a little mixed up. You'll see that they did this all the time. He's actually Cartel. And in fact, when we spoke Greek or Aramaic, we had accents, and you know, maybe you can tell a little bit. I don't know. And we didn't, in fact, say the. Well, first I have to tell you that we didn't use those letters. We used these letters. We called them ancient Greek letters. And we had trouble with the R's. We usually didn't say them, you know, like New York and Borough Park and stuff like that. It hangs on a while, this accent. So we called him Cartel. We could have said Cartel, but to us it sounded like pirates, you know. Har, Cartel, shiver me timbers, Cartel. We didn't want to be pirates. Now, maybe these letters look a little bit familiar to you, and that's because, I'll let you in on a secret, the Greeks originally were a bunch of barbarians, didn't even know how to write. They had to turn to us Semites, specifically in their case the Phoenicians, to figure out how to write.